$89 a month. That is the price for a 6 by 5 foot cube in this facility in New York City. You get a cot, a little shelf space, and a tiny desk. It's inappropriate. There's too much wealth available in this country for anyone to have to live this way. There is a discordance between the world we live in and the world that should be, based upon the availability of resources. There are imperatives that drive growth, that drive aspiration. Whatever balance of capitalism and socialism you believe in, there is a balance necessary for a thriving world that isn't run by AI. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate that a facility like this is necessary. But in the real world, it is. Because in the real world, there are people who are going to take advantage of working class Americans. They're going to take advantage of industrial complexes and the systems thereof. That's going to result in disenfranchisement and people who can't afford to live in the city they grew up in. It's really unfortunate, but that's the real world. That's the real world. That's the world we live in. There is opportunity for growth, petitions, protests, voting. Those are some of the common ways that a lot of us look at as driving change in the society we live in. But there's another aspect of change that is feasible, that's truly viable, and that adjusts the reality that you personally live in. And that's self-enrichment. Libraries are still real. Libraries are real. They typically provide free internet access. And YouTube is real. You're watching this video on YouTube. Unfortunately, if you're watching this video, you might not exactly be the person that needs to hear this. But it's a message that I think can be shared. I think it's a message that the average working class American that's working way too hard considers less than they should. And that's that self-enrichment is the means by which you can reorganize the world around you. There is no forcing the world we live in to change. Collectively, we can buy bargaining power. Collectively, we can rock the vote and change who the representatives are in front of us. But that's a future process. That's a thing of possibility, of chance, more or less. Mitigate this crap for yourself. Mitigate it for you and your family. Information technology, IT, HVAC, what is it? Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, right? Plumbing, electrical work. There's a lot of great opportunity out here to make a lot of money in the world that we currently live in. It's not the job you want. Let me keep that to myself. It's not the job you want. But you know what it does? It pays the bills and it takes care of you and your family. It's secure, right? You make sacrifices today so that you can enjoy yourself tomorrow. And if there's no security in your ability to enjoy yourself tomorrow, you're not making the right decisions. It's work smarter, not harder. Right? Libraries are real. There are certifications you can knock out in 6 weeks that can result in pay equivalent to a 4-year degree. You get to pick. Do you want to work hard or do you want to work smart? But you have to pick one, because the world will never accommodate you not working. And by working, I mean doing something you don't really want to do. You get to pick. No one wants to get a certification. It's not fun. Studying is not fun. Getting a degree is not fun. Okay, let me correct that. Getting a degree that's going to pay your bills expectantly is not fun. Nothing that in the real world, the one that you live in today, is going to be something that you are excited about jumping into doing. That's why it's valuable. That's why it's work. That's why it takes effort. That's why it takes time with no reward. The average person is working harder every single day than they should have to, because they rather get too little immediately than to sacrifice long enough to get larger rewards in the future. And it's frustrating for me, because I know so many people, so many amazing, hard-working fucking people who deserve more than they're getting every day, who are putting out way more than they're getting back every single day of their lives. So many of them I know are never going to have anything close to what they feel like is a fulfilling and fruitful life, because of a lack of willingness to make sacrifice. Because there's like that discordance, that inability to separate idealism from the real world that we live in. It's messed up. It sucks, because I mean, like, you're correct. Every one of you, every single person watching this video, the way that you think the world should be from an idealistic, moral perspective is true. Unfortunately, that's not where we're at, though. If you can get your friends that are busting their asses to look at the bigger picture, to look at the real world that we are in right now, and get them to, like, make a plan, figure out, where do I want to be 2 years from now? Where do I want to be 5 years from now? Are any of the things I'm doing today going to help get me there? Or am I just spinning my wheels? Figure that out. I don't want any of you. I don't want any of your loved ones. I don't want your cousins. I don't want your enemies having to pay $89 a month for a 30 square foot room. No privacy. I don't want anyone on the street begging for food. Blows my mind. Like, there's so much opportunity. And yes, there are people totally disenfranchised. There are situations that are just wrong. There are people that are working hard being stolen from. There are employers out here just taking people's checks, cutting their hours. There are people being, like, disenfranchised for being whoever they are, whether it's a straight white male or a woman of color or a trans person or whatever. Like, there are people being disenfranchised in all walks of life at different ratios, different frequencies. But at the end of the day, the world that you live in your shoes, when you wake up every day, you have choices to make for you. You have choices to make for you and your family. And I want you to get the best. I really do.